Hello everyone, and welcome to the first video in my Practical Python video series. Before we begin, I'd just like to take a moment to introduce myself and give you a gist of what this course will be about, what you can expect from it. My name is Alan Jarvis. I'm a mechanical engineering student at Rutgers University. I started coding when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I've just been picking it up over the years from practicing, trial and error, Googling things, asking questions, etc. So while I can make good code that will always do what I want it to do, and you'll be able to do the same by the end of this, I don't have any formal education with this. I've never taken a computer science course. So I might not always know the theoretical stuff behind what's going on. I might not know the proper names and categorizations for different algorithms or exactly why one thing might be more efficient than another. This is really just the practical side of Python. Making cool stuff, making useful things, useful little scripts. This is for people who want to do Python as a hobby, or they want to put Python on their resume, or maybe they're interested in the more computer sciencey, theoretical side of stuff, and they just want this as an introduction. So with that disclaimer out of the way, let's get started by installing Python. So first things first, we have to get the actual Python programming language, and all the links required to install everything will be included in the description. So Python is an interesting language in that it's the only one I've ever heard of that has two versions that are technically current, Python 3 point whatever and Python 2.7 point whatever. This tutorial series is going to use Python 2.7 just because that's what I'm familiar with. I haven't yet made the migration to Python 3. And there are lots of reasons to use Python 2.7 anyway. Lots of the libraries, add-ons, whatever, are still only supported by Python 2.7. They haven't yet made a version for Python 3. Lots of existing systems that people aren't updating anymore, but lots of people still use Python 2.7. I mean, it's very common. I think as of right now, more people still use 2.7 than people using 3. So anyway, we have to get Python. You don't want to click these buttons because for whatever reason sometimes it gives you 32-bit Python rather than 64-bit, or at least that's been my experience. So instead of doing that, we're going to go down to the latest 2.7 version. In this case, as of right now, it's Python 2.7.13. I'm going to click that, and we want the x86-64 MSI installer. You don't want this one. This is for a computer that you're almost certainly not using. So click this. You would download it. I already have it downloaded right here. Click that. Install for all users. Yeah, that's fine in our C drive. This part's very important. Right here where there's the X, we want entire feature will be installed on local hard drive. This is very important. This will cause problems later if you don't do this. There's a long story as to why. But now we're fine. Next. And so we correctly got 64-bit Python, not 32-bit. You may have to hit yes if it comes up with an alert. Do you want Python to make changes to this computer or whatever? Anyway, yeah, you should see this screen. You have Python 2.7.13, 64-bit. Awesome. Finish. And now, if we go to Run, in Windows 10, Windows 8, I believe, you can just right-click this, go to Run, CMD, Enter, get this command prompt. I'm going to type Python. This is what you should see. You type in Python, you hit enter, Python 2.7.13, etc., 64-bit, everything is great. If you see error, this is not an application, error, you do not have permission to do whatever, then something was wrong. But if you see this, wonderful. Moving right along. Next thing we need is the C++ compiler for Python 2.7. It's kind of hard to explain what exactly this is. Most of the Python, they're not really libraries or add-ons, although that's the closest analogy that can be made. They're called packages, but it's the same basic thing. They're not actually written in Python. They're written in the language C++, because C++ is much faster, usually. You don't have to actually know how to write C++. One of the great things about Python is you can just write things in Python, and then you get all the speed and efficiency of C++ anyway, when you're doing really heavy lifting things like image processing or things with AI, computer learning, etc. So you're just going to download that. I've already got it downloaded. Right here it should look like this. Ready to install. Yes, I accept. Install. And that's really all there is to it. There aren't really any other options. And this shouldn't take very long. Alright. I guess that's done. So now we have the C++ compiler. The next thing is you're going to need this rec.txt. This will be attached to the video. It's going to look like this. These are all of the packages that we're going to be using in this series. So just download this, and you're going to put it on your desktop. Right there. Now, let's just, to make things easy, start a new command prompt. Go to run cmd. Here we are. cd space desktop. This is how you get around file systems in a command prompt. We're in the C drive /user/my sister cd desktop. Now we're in C drive /user/my sister / the desktop folder. And now we're going to do python-m pip install-r rec.txt. So pip is a module, which is another Python concept, as well as a package. All this does is it installs things for you. So you don't have to go to shady websites where there's 50 different download buttons and all of them give you viruses, but one of them also gives you what you actually want. Pip will find the proper actual source for whatever it is you're trying to install and install it. So hit enter. Now we're downloading all the packages. This can take some time, especially we're using one called NumPy, which if you've ever used MATLAB, NumPy basically makes Python MATLAB. Well, it doesn't make it MATLAB. The syntax doesn't change, but it gives it all the capabilities of MATLAB. And sometimes, because NumPy is so big, there will be steps where it'll look like it's frozen, like right now, depending on how fast your computer is. It might just stop right here for a while. It's not actually frozen. It's just NumPy is a lot to download, and it's going to be a lot to install with the next NumPy step. So I'll pause the video now, because this could take a while. Alright, so at the end of the day, you should have something that looks like this. Successfully installed, one last thing we need to take care of. There's one package that we can't install with pip called OpenCV. For whatever reason you can't use pip. So I'll attach this file to the video, and you just go to wherever you installed Python, in this case our C drive, Python 2.7, go to Python 2.7 lib site packages, and then in here just click and drag. There we go. Okay, so now we should be able to go to our command prompt, Python import CV2. Yeah, so OpenCV is working. This file is for Python 2.7.13. It should work with later versions of Python if one comes out between me releasing this video and you trying to install Python. But if it doesn't, there are other tutorials online on how to get different versions of this file. So you should be good. You now have Python and all the packages. To double check to make sure everything went as it should, we're just going to type in the command line Python, and you should get Python 2.7.13 or whatever version. No errors. This means that whatever we type here next to these three carets, we've started Python, so whatever we type is going to be interpreted and run as Python language. The one package that can be kind of finicky when it installs is OpenCV, the image processing one. So to make sure that one installed properly, we're going to type import CV2. That's the package name of OpenCV. Hit enter, and no errors. So that means OpenCV installed properly. The things it's dependent on, like NumPy, installed properly. If we want to double check that or anything else, just do import and the name of the package. So NumPy installed correctly. So we should be good. If you ever want to get out of Python and go back to the regular command prompt, just hold down Control and hit C. Now we're back to the command line. Now, if we were dumb, we could just program from in here. You can actually type out whole Python scripts and save them and run them and everything from in here. But we're not going to subject ourselves to that. We're going to get something called Sublime. If you're coming to Python from another language, or for whatever reason, you have Notepad++ or NetBeans or something like that, and you're happy with that, then that's perfectly fine. For anybody else, we're going to get the text editor Sublime, just because I prefer it. I've tried a few different things. It seems like a lot of professionals use it. So just hit this blue download button. I already have it downloaded to save time. We don't need this anymore. That's going to be this thing right here. Yes. Yes. Yes, that's fine. Whatever. Install. Shouldn't take long. I didn't speed up the video at all. That was just really how long it took. Hit finish. So now we hit search Sublime. There it is. And this is Sublime. So this is where we're going to write Python and run it. You can do testing. It'll show you if there are errors, where those errors are, all different things. You can't really see it here because it's just a blank. You know what? This is a new thing that I just opened. Hit save as. Wherever, I'm just going to save it to the desktop. Example. Now this is important. You do whatever you're naming the file, .py, because it's a Python file. But besides that, you have to do save as type. These are all the different languages you could learn if you could live forever. Save it as a Python file. So example.py and save as Python. So now we can do things like import CV2, and we'll do all different things in here later, and it will colorize it to make it easier to read. Now, once you have code so you can actually see things, you can go to Preferences and Color Scheme. There are all different ones, just whatever you think looks best. If you find that you like the one that I'm going to be using, that's going to be this one right here. You can download this. It's going to be attached to the video. Go to Preferences, Browse Packages, and then just click and drag this into here. Preferences, Color Scheme, Cool Night. We'll just delete this. And there you go. One more thing. If you ever feel like you want to make your own color scheme like I did, this website, TM Theme Editor, I'll put a link in the description attached to this video. Yeah, this website's awesome. You can change the way everything looks, make it easier on the eyes, however you see fit, and then you can download the theme and install it just like I showed you how to install my personal custom one. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I hope the rest of the series is helpful as well.